I want to tell you about one position. Not a workout, not a routine. Just one single hold that, if practiced for 2 minutes a day, can rebuild the strength in your legs, correct your posture, and restore something most people quietly lose after 50 without ever realizing it. It also improves blood flow to areas of the body directly tied to your energy and vitality. I know that might sound like a big claim, but the science behind it is simple, and I'm going to walk you through it step by step. This position is called the horse stance. For thousands of years, it's been used by martial artists, healers, and traditional medicine practitioners, not because it looks impressive, but because of what it quietly does inside the body. It costs nothing. It needs no equipment. And it takes 2 minutes. For people who can no longer run or do high-impact training because of joint pain, this is one of the rare exercises that builds real strength without adding wear to your knees or hips. But what surprised me most when I started recommending this wasn't the physical benefit. It was the mental resilience it built. Stay with me. Near the end, I'll explain a circulatory benefit of this movement that almost nobody talks about, but every adult over 50 should know. Let's start with the muscle. Let's be honest. After 50, strong legs aren't about appearance. They're about whether you can rise from a chair unaided, whether you can climb stairs without fear, whether you stay independent. There's a medical term for what happens when you don't maintain this: sarcopenia, the gradual age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. It's why simple daily tasks get harder. It's why falls become more common and more dangerous. The horse stance fights this directly through isometric contraction. Unlike a squat, where the muscle shortens and lengthens, an isometric hold keeps the muscle under constant tension without movement. This activates slow-twitch muscle fibers, the ones responsible for endurance and joint stability, without the repetitive impact that can aggravate arthritis. Over time, this builds strength not only in the muscle, but in the tendons and ligaments surrounding your knees and hips, like building an internal brace around every joint in your lower body. This strength doesn't stay isolated in your legs. It travels upward into your core. And by core, I don't mean visible abdominal muscles. I mean the deep stabilizing system, the transverse abdominis, the muscles running along your spine and your pelvic floor. Together, they form a natural support belt around your spine. Holding the horse stance forces this entire system to switch on and stay engaged, just to keep your torso upright. This isn't a quick contraction like a sit-up. It's endurance training for the muscles that protect your lower back every time you sit, stand, or walk. A strong core isn't about how it looks. It's the difference between feeling fragile and feeling solid in your everyday life. Here's something most people don't realize. Balance isn't just a muscle function. It's a brain function. It relies on proprioception, your brain's constant awareness of where your body is in space, built from signals sent by your muscles and joints. As we age, this sense naturally dulls. That's a major reason falls become more frequent. When you hold the horse stance, your body looks completely still from the outside. But internally, your nervous system is working hard, making thousands of micro adjustments per second in your feet, ankles, and hips just to keep you balanced. You're not just building muscle. You're retraining your brain's communication with your body. And that translates directly into real life, catching yourself on uneven ground, recovering from a stumble, walking with more confidence. Many of my patients deal with chronic lower back pain. One overlooked cause is tight hip flexors, a direct result of years spent sitting. When these muscles shorten, they tilt your pelvis forward and place ongoing strain on your lower spine. The wide stance of this position gently opens the hips, creating a slow, Sustained stretch through the inner thighs and deep hip flexors. Unlike aggressive stretching, this gradual approach allows tissue to release safely over time, correcting posture, easing back pain, and restoring a more natural way of walking. Now let's talk about the part most fitness content never mentions. Holding tension in your large leg and glute muscles creates real demand for oxygen-rich blood. This naturally increases circulation throughout your entire pelvic region, an area packed with important muscles, nerves, and organs. For both men and women, the pelvic floor relies on healthy blood flow to stay strong and functional, supporting core stability and bladder control. For men specifically, healthy circulation in this region is directly tied to vascular function. For women, a well-supported pelvic floor improves core strength and organ support. This isn't a miracle claim. It's simple physiology. Better blood flow to a region means better function in that region. And that plays a real role in how vital and energized you feel as you age. Holding this position creates a controlled form of physical stress, the kind that triggers positive adaptation rather than harm. This type of low-impact resistance work has been shown to help regulate cortisol, your primary stress hormone. Chronically elevated cortisol is linked to poor sleep, inflammation, and stubborn weight gain. At the same time, your body releases endorphins as you hold the pose, natural mood elevators that explain why people often feel calm and focused afterward, not just tired. But perhaps the deepest benefit is mental. As your muscles begin to shake and your instinct screams at you to stop, that moment is the entire point. Choosing to stay, breathe, and remain calm trains your nervous system to handle discomfort without panic. That's resilience. And it stays with you long after the 2 minutes end. The slow breathing involved also activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and recovery state, directly counteracting chronic stress. Here's exactly how to begin. Stand with your feet roughly double shoulder width apart. Toes turned slightly outward. Keep your back straight and chest lifted. Slowly lower your hips as if sitting into an invisible chair, only as low as feels stable. Make sure your knees track in the same direction as your toes to protect the joint. Start by holding for just 30 seconds, breathing slowly and deeply. As you build strength, gradually increase your hold time toward 2 minutes. If you've had recent hip, knee, or back surgery, or have uncontrolled blood pressure or severe joint pain, speak with your doctor before starting. Aging is biological, but losing your strength, your balance, and your independence is not automatic. It's something you have real power to influence, starting with small, intelligent choices. The horse stance is one of those choices. 2 minutes. No equipment, just you. Standing still, getting stronger every single day.